Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome to the first episode, first stream of Father's Talk. So, right now, coming before you, this one, let me set up how the format is going to be. So, this is going to be different from everything else that I'm doing. So, what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, everything that's going to come forth here is going to relate to men, but it's going to be more laxed. If you've seen me on anything else, real straightforward, very serious tenor, coming and using the Word of God as a base to talk and discuss. This is just really like sitting down with the guys, one of the boys, and just talking shop, chopping it up, discussing matters and issues as it relates to men, but keeping it really, I guess you could say, more grounded. Going to make sure that one of the things that's going to happen is me, myself, I'm going to come with a lot more energy. And also, I'm going to share matters and concerns and things directly from my own personal perspective and point of view. So you're going to see a bit more into my world, into my realm, what I've done, what I picked up in growing uh, as a father, as a man. And the other thing that's going to happen here is not going to be just just about fatherhood. It's going to talk about and deal with a lot of issues with men across the board. And one of my purposeful goals here is I'm not going to bring up scripture. So it's more relative to everybody. So you're not going to see, well, thus said the Lord, and coming out of Romans, or Acts, or Philippians. Not going there. Just going to be talking about matters and issues, and from week to week, gradually talking and expanding on different things that want to hit on. Things that uh, I hear people mention, hey, been trying to figure out how I can work this, or how I can make myself better in this area, or I've been struggling in dealing with this, or I'm looking for somebody to relate to in regards to. Ah. So that's what we're going to be dealing with, and that's the whole purpose and point of Father's Talk. So this is going to be a bi-monthly process. So basically every 2 weeks of the month, or every second and fourth week, be coming forth before you and discussing, talking, mentioning, get into the point of interviewing other men, other brothers on different topics, and seeing how they say, hey, here's something that you can do to help you out in this area. Or here's something that I noticed concerning myself that helped me to learn, to discipline, to get things going in the proper and right direction. So again, this is going to be a much, much looser, freer, less tight. I mean, just I don't know if you've seen me on other streams, you'll notice even my attire. I'm rocking what I would definitely consider to be more leisurely. Going to be showing off more and more gear that's a bit more related to my likes and my wants. So I'm not going to be. You're not going to see ties here. You're not going to see a lot of collars and button-up gear. So it's really loose, really laid back, and just focused on what we believe is going to help. What's going to help? So that's really where um, Father's Talk is coming from. It's about progression. It's about growth. It's about men just increasing. So here, this being the inaugural, the first episode, first stream for what we're doing with Father's Talk, I was just going to relate everything back to me. And hopefully it'll be a help in the development, growth, just even in relationships, period, and across the whole. So let's go ahead and let's dive in, Shall we? Surely. Let's do this. So, again, welcome to Father's Talk, and just want to begin talking about this was the first thing that came up to me, especially with something having the name and the title of Father's Talk, was what is a father's identity? What is a father's identity? So, what determines how you're ID'd? What goes into who determines how you're ID'd? And when we really look at that question and we really start to break it down, those that see you now, it's the thing is because everybody has a different perspective of what a father is. I mean, really, that's where we should start. What is a father? And a father is somebody who plays a contributing and major role in the life of their family. So you can be a father, but you still have responsibilities as a father to show your children how to get along with other people. So that if you're married, yes, that includes your wife. If you're dating, yes, that includes your girlfriend. If you're not dating, but there are family members that are close to you, sticking around, guess what? That aspect in that relationship is still going to influence the thoughts and the measures of your children. So you're contributing to their growth and to their development. You're having a say-so in the type of people that they become. And the thing is about a father's identity, you have to choose, you have to determine. Now, you can say one thing with your mouth, but the reality of the fact is that your children and those that are close to you, they will tell you, hey, you may want to be this type of father, but here's the type of father you are. And that's based on your actions. Your words may say one thing, they may go in one direction, but then here's what you do. Here's what you repeat. Here's the cycle of how and what you're doing within and around your kids. And here are the different things that they're picking up from you. Because really, as we get into this, there was one, I remember in the height of his powers, when we're talking about Tiger Woods, there was an interview he was doing. And the interviewer was like, so what got you into golf? What got you first interested in the golf? And he said, honestly, it was the fact that he knew that that was something that his father loved to do. So as a result, if daddy loves it, I want to be around daddy. So I'm going to start picking up and loving and involving myself in the things that my father's like, that my father likes to do. And I can say that is so true. If your kids get to or desire to spend time with you, you'll notice they start gravitating, they start moving themselves in a direction towards the things that you show them that you like. And that's true of boys and of girls. Realize that one of the reasons that a lot of girls become kind of what we like to call tomboyish is because they start picking up on the things that they see the people around them that they like. So it's like, hey, if daughters are close to their fathers, especially if they're closer to their fathers than their mothers, and their fathers are like a real guy's guy. He likes watching sports. He likes doing guy stuff. Like I say, like having guy meals. Yeah, guy meals, guy food, sugar, salt, meat all kinds of ways on a stick, fried, whatever, sauced, salt, nuts, pretzels, chips, those kinds of things. That I just call that man food. But nonetheless, so since that's what the father likes, that's what he invests in, that's where he puts his time, then you'll see the children doing the same thing. You'll see little girls, if they're a daddy's girl, they'll become lovers of sports, lovers of those kinds of activities. If daddy's on a PlayStation, if daddy's on the Xbox, if daddy's playing games on the PC, the children are going to want to, and they're going to gravitate towards those kinds of things, those kinds of activities. Why? All they're trying to do is get close to you. They see where your likes and your desires are. So it's like, hey, I want to do this, or I like doing this, or I just desire to be closer to daddy. So this is what daddy does. If daddy's a TV watcher, I'm a TV watcher. If daddy's real athletic, I'm going to be real athletic. If daddy's a talker, I'm be a talker. If daddy's highly intelligent, then I'm going to try and be highly intelligent. So even indirectly, we're influencing our kids within the dynamics of the relationship. We're identifying them that, hey, fatherhood is following my actions. Because how do children develop? They repeat, they mimic, they imitate. So what they see you do, that's what they're going to do. So if you're a fusser and a cusser, guess what? Them going to be your kids. And as much as, I mean, even for any parent, you want your kid to do well. You want them to exceed you. You want them to be a better person, better people than you are, to achieve more in life. And just, I remember when my kids were born, you just had this hope that, you know what, you want them to be capable and able of doing everything. So you want them to be smart, you want them to be strong, you want them to be athletic, you want them to grow up tall and physically capable of handling whatever they desire to do. If they put their minds towards anything, it's like, yeah, they can handle that, they can do that. But it comes down to what you guide them to, what you show them. For the athletic kids, a lot of times it's what the fathers or what the parents poured into them. I mean, for those of you who follow the phenomenal growth, development, and popularity of Zion Williamson over the last 4 or 5 years, you know that his stepfather was actually an NBA draft pick and had a car incident, and that ended his career. And his mother was an athlete, was even his first coach. So there, you've got parent involvement, teaching him and showing him things to which those were those seeds that went into causing him to become a big part of him becoming who he is today, especially within the realm of athletics. And so it's not just limited to athletes. Stories of, I consider him to be Mr. Atlanta for everything that he once owned or contributed or founded right there in the city of Atlanta. And that's Ted Turner. Ted Turner at one point in time, I'm not sure if he still owns, but he owned the Atlanta Braves. He owned the Atlanta Hawks. He was the reason why they built the new stadiums for both teams. He founded the Turner Networks, TBS, TNT, CNN, Headline News, that whole gambit of television and broadcasting networks that came through him. And he cited that, now, even though he wasn't necessarily the most loving, the most giving, but he caused him to be driven. His father put him specifically on a path of business success, because going back and talking to and referencing his teachers and instructors, especially in because he went to a boarding school in high school, and then when he went to college, his teachers said that not necessarily that he was a nuisance, but anything he didn't understand, he questioned. And he questioned hard. He questioned it tough. So he just wouldn't accept an answer as being true if it didn't make sense to him. He would break that thing down to its lowest degree, so that he would have an understanding in that area, and then he could tackle a matter on his own. Why? Because he knew what he was doing. It made sense to him. And that's why his business acumen is so high. That's why he's able to develop so much, because his family was wealthy. His father had a lot. So when he came of age and the time came, he was able to expand and enlarge on everything that his father had done. So it's about putting things into our kids, into our families, that are going to help them grow and develop. We are the ones to make the difference. So we got to determine, what kind of father do I want to be? What kind of development, what kind of growth do I want to see in my kids? These are my kids. So how do I term success for them? Because I'm going to be honest, I have those daddy moments where it's like, you know what? I'm going to give me some rest. Take care of me for a little bit. So I'm going to turn on the TV and I'm going to watch what I want to watch. And the kids, they want to spend time with me. They either better sit next to me and be quiet, or go on about their business, do whatever they want. They got TVs, they got tablets, they got phones, they got stuff they can use, entertain themselves. They got movies, DVDs, whatever. It's me time. And when it's me time, I'm not worried about my kids. Yes, I have those moments, plural. Not always at the most convenient time for the family. Especially, and I'm gonna let you into my world here. I work third shift, so as a result, it's sometimes hard for me to spend quality time with the kids, because it's just get up in the morning, get home, and help them get ready for school and launch them out. So sometimes on some days, especially if, because I have to cut through downtown on my way home, if traffic's bad, I can miss them altogether. So I'm not seeing them till the afternoon, but usually by that time I'm still sleeping. So sometimes, depending on how much sleep I get and when I get to sleep and what I've had to do during the course of the day, I may get just a matter of moments with them. So it's like, okay, daddy deficiency. They want to have that time with me. They want to hear, hey, how are you? Daddy loves you. I want to spend some time with you. Come on, let's do something. Let's play. Let's run around. Let's talk. Give me 5, hit the rock. Give me doubt, something. Just some form of acknowledgement. Even those times where I'm still trying to get sleep because I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and they'll just bust into my room and it's like, okay, haven't seen daddy all day. So you know what? I'm gonna cuddle up right next to daddy in his bed. Daddy's trying to sleep. Hey, here comes the kiddos! Yay! And in their little minds, it's necessary. It is necessary to have that portion of the day where daddy's involved, where, hey, spending time with daddy, having moments with daddy. I done found it. There it is. Yeah, sometimes my wife will lock the door. Most times she won't. And so they're just, hey, haven't seen daddy all day. It's starting to get a little late. No, we got to go to work. So whatever I got to do. So me, also, let me add this. Those relationships that they see you having with other people, and that's other people, period. So the same people who are going to judge you and determine the type of father that you are, and the relationships or the interactions that you have with them, those are the same people that your children are going to use to see the type of person that you are, and they'll emulate those same characteristics and emotions. So for you that are husbands, if you're very loving with your wife in front of your kids, they will be very loving with you, and again, guiding them and leading them and showing them, hey, we give hugs. I kiss mommy when I see mom. They're going to reciprocate that same emotion that they see, especially if they're younger. So you got those itty bitties. I'll say it like this: 10 and under, and they see hugs all the time. They see mommy and daddy holding hands. They see mommy and daddy sitting next to each other on the couch when everybody's watching TV or doing something together. They're going to emulate, repeat, mirror those same type of actions. So the same affections they see, remember, your kids are always watching you. And the thing that I have to be notable concerning is that they're watching and they're learning. And as they're learning, they pick up the good and the bad. They don't really differentiate between, hey, this is a good behavior. This is a bad behavior. I mean, a lot of times with my kids right now, especially my eldest son, my 12-year-old, he'll do something and he kind of knows. Thankfully, he knows I'm joking when I say this, but he'll do something and I'll be like, giving him a look like, why in the world did you just do that? So I'll make a little snarky, snide comment. I almost took off my shoe and threw it at you. Something like that. Just to let him know, that really wasn't necessary. You really didn't have to do all that right there. And so now, again, he knows daddy's playing. It's a joke. But he does understand that it's like, okay, that's an extreme form of behavior right there. We really don't need to necessarily go there. Ugh. But still, he's even though he's 12, he's very aware and will run comments and decisions back at me. So if I say something, especially if he's talking to me and it's like, okay, well, I said this, and he'll come back and he said, well, here's exactly what you said. Which lets me know that with him, I've got to watch my words and I've got to watch my care and my emotions. So if I'm being demonstrative with my wife, with his mom, then it's like, hey. Because the other thing is, the way we are with others, that's the way they're going to be. They're learning those practices and those principles for themselves. Now you can say, hey, I've got teenagers. Guess what? They developed in the way that they saw you. They're repeating those same actions and behaviors and what they saw coming out of you. So if this is the type of person you are, it's going to be reflected in your kids. Really. Because more than anything else, I like to call kids little satellites, little radars. They see signals, they receive signals, and what do? They send it right back. Especially the younger ones, they will watch you do something because they're learning, they're growing, and they're developing. And the fastest way they learn, grow, and develop is to do what they see being done. So when it comes to walking, the mind is like, okay, everybody around me walking, mommy walking, daddy walking. Okay, I'm gonna try and start walking. I'm gonna get my butt up and I'm gonna walk just like them. And the muscular skill is not there. So they try, boom, they fall over. They try again, boom, they fall over. Or sometimes just, got the right idea, not really organized within bodily functions and ability. So it's just like, all over the place. Learning, trying to grow, trying to develop, trying to get this thing. They see walking and it's like, yeah, I got to do that. I want to do that. So they see you in your relationships and it's like, oh, daddy's having fun. Okay, this is the way I can have fun too. So I'm going to do what daddy does. Oh, this is how daddy responds to mommy or to women. Oh, this is the way that daddy responds to family members. Okay, so this is how I respond to family members. These are the kinds of things that we do, and that's what they pick up on. which essentially is everything. Even when you think they're not looking, they're looking. They're watching you. So if you're real cool and laid back, more than likely you're going to have some real cool and laid back kids. They're going to pick up on that from you. Be like, you know what? Yeah, ain't no need to, you all worked up, stressed out. They're going to see that and they're going to emulate that. So those actions, those attitudes, those different things that you suggest, what you do, it's going to come through to your kids. They're going to see it and they're going to be like, oh, And again, that's true of every aspect and thing that you're going to be doing with them. So especially your dealings with them, they're going to take that to heart and they're going to remember that too. Your personal dealings with them. So let's get into personal dealings. So I'm a father of 3. I've got a 12-year-old, I've got a 7-year-old, and got one who's just around the corner from being 5. Within the next week, he'll turn 5 years old. So they're got a preteen and 2 youngsters, adolescents, however you want to call it. So nonetheless, each one of them is totally different, totally unique. And I have had to recognize and realize that I can't deal with each one of them the same way. Why? Because they're their own people. And to better strengthen and encourage my relationship with them, I've got to understand each one of them and come across to them in such a way that it reflects their personality. I can't just treat them one way across the board. And the worst thing I could do is try and do things or force or impose upon them that they got to be the same exact person that I am. They're their own people, even though they're kids. Now, I have the right to influence, to engage in what their wants and their desires, the things that they want to do and become are. But I'm not trying to turn them into perfect little me's. The world's got one of me. That's enough. I'm not perfect. I got my own issues and concerns. Again, I'm trying to make my kids better than me. So I've got to know and deal with them and understand who they are as people and encourage them in their growth and development. So let's talk about what I understand, the personality traits, attitude, actions. We'll start with my 12-year-old since he's the oldest. Right now for me, because he is the oldest, he's probably the easiest one for me to relate to. Also, because he's able to effectively communicate with me his likes, his desires, and his concerns. So what he sees that he wants to do, that he's interested in, he really has no problems telling me, or for the matter, showing me. Because there's a lot of things he likes to engage in, especially on YouTube. And it's like, okay, here's something that I like to watch. So like, for example, and I'm gonna get specific here, he is fascinated with marble racing on YouTube. Yeah, and it is exactly as I'm describing it. There's an individual who takes marbles and has set them up in all kinds of different racing and scenarios, and even marble Olympics, where he buys the same type of marble, and this marble represents one country and this color marble represents another country. And I mean, honestly, it is, considering it's all marbles, it's very well done. Yeah, I know, marble racing. Who knew? But very well organized and thought out, because he creates even storylines to go along with it. So without the what we might consider the imagery of a book or animated feature, he's got these stories that are worked up. So you're watching, I mean, he's got names of, he's done everything from like NASCAR races, and they've got their own names and looks and colors, and he defines them, where it's even the computer generated and simulated marbles as they're falling through different, you could say, devices or mazes to find their way to the end to see which color finishes first. And he's fascinated by that stuff, and he watches it. So that means sometimes I got to watch it too. And sometimes Daddy don't feel like watching marble races. So do I just strip him of it? No. Sometimes I got to man up and just be there and be like, okay, and really see what it is. Find out why he likes it. What is it that fascinates him? Why does he take this to heart? Why does it grab his attention? So it's not just the marble races. Now, I will say that because of in relationship and in regard to the comment I had made before about our influence as fathers, as dads, that kids pick up on the things that we like. Now, he has picked up on some of the things that I've liked, and he's taken it a step further. So I like sports, like watching sports. I enjoy sports. So especially as a young kid, I would watch football. And I remember he was 3 years old. He would stand in front of the TV. And I mean, he would just stand there nearly frozen and just watch a game. Wouldn't move from the spot. He would just stand. If he had a toy in hand, he would hold on to it the whole time. He would just stand right there in front of the TV and he watched the whole game. So now he has no problems, especially if I'm off and I'm having to do something else. He will give me play-by-play commentary on what has happened, what has taken place. And honestly, seeing how he engaged he is, because this child here keeps himself physically fit while he's watching TV or playing video games by his interaction. He's so enthralled that he doesn't just sit still. He is moving with the actions and the activity of what he's watching. So if he's watching an NBA game, he has this some balls that he likes to keep around, and a little like Nerf hoop, and he's taking it and and he comes down the court and he lays it up. I don't know. He came from behind and he blocked the shot. He will reenact. Why? Because he's engaged. He's engrossed. And so it's a healthy activity. So I just have to make sure that he balances it out. So I tell him, yes, we are fans of the game, but we are not fanatics. We don't take it, or we don't go over the top with our love and watch of it, that it consumes us, that we become volatile, enraged, overly emotional, allow the game to subject us to I'll just say fits. So he picked up his love of sports from me, but then he picked up other sports. So he likes occasionally watching baseball. It is not necessarily always on and always available, but it's something that he enjoys. And then he also he loves watching soccer. Soccer was never really one of my main interests, but that's where he's at. So again, on those occasions, it's one of the things that I've kind of had to pick up on to associate with him better, on a better role, to show that it's okay for him to be his own individual, that he doesn't have to, his makeup doesn't have to be exactly like his dad, that he can be his own person, and it's okay. Because I also have noticed and realized that one of the other things about him, he's very tender soul, very loving child, and very compassionate when it comes to the needs of others. And sometimes he's wanting to please people so much and so well that he'll go to certain extremes to do things that he thinks people may like or suggest or want to hear. So again, helping him to manage that and to understand, okay, yeah, just be you, and just be concerned about, it's okay to want to help and to associate and to find common ground, a commonality with others, but you still have to make sure that you're not letting that dictate the type of person that you are. Be yourself, be you as an individual, and honestly, be okay with being yourself. Because if you love you, then others will only have a choice to love you. And if they can't love you, they can appreciate you, who you are, and the things you do. Hey, move on. So, yeah, he's highly intelligent. So, another thing that I find myself doing with him and associating with him is trying to stretch him, trying to get him to increase his perspective on things. Suggest to him that, hey, this is one way that you may see things, but there's a lot more to it than just this. And introducing him to, honestly, some more of my loves. Now, also as an adult, and I have no problem saying this, even though I'm 45 years of age, I'm good with it. I like watching cartoons. Do I like watching every cartoon? No, but I do like watching cartoons. And so I will sometimes, especially since a lot of the different services will have a lot of those older cartoons from way back in the day, that you can pull up episodes and be like, hey, check this out. This is what I used to watch as a kid. You ain't really seen no cartoons, because back in the day, we used to have cartoons. Get home from school, watch cartoons for 2 hours a day. Then you couldn't watch cartoons again until the weekend. It was either cartoons before school, cartoons after school, and then Saturday morning cartoons. That's pretty much it. Before Cartoon Network, before all these channels that had 24-hour cartoons all day, every day, and you only had a select few you could watch. Especially when it was the what I call the classic big three of cartoons. Back in the day, in the 80s, every 80s child is going to know what I'm talking about when I say it was, in some order, it was G.I. Joe, it was Voltron, and it was Thundercats. You ask those around, if you're 40 or older, you know those big three every day after school. Every day after school. Try and catch it, and sometimes hurry up and get home so you can catch those cartoons while they were still on TV. Because if you missed it, you wasn't getting another episode to the next day. And then you have from what? Saturday mornings was from 6 a.m. till noon, and that was it. And then you can only catch cartoons on Saturday mornings between ABC, CBS, and NBC. And then Fox came along years later. And then eventually Cartoon Network came along and just destroyed it for all three of those networks. That's why they don't even show cartoons on especially on Saturdays. They don't show cartoons on Saturdays anymore. It's just those adult cartoons that they like to show that not really my cup of tea. But nonetheless, so again, seeing into my brain, into my life, into who I am, where I mean, he also picked up my love of comic books. So I can honestly say, thank you, Marvel, for the movies. You made it a lot easier. Thank you, DC, for your early animated movies. Those made it easy. And he was not the only one that picked it up. My youngest son, also my one who's about to turn 5, he has picked up on that love too. So he's into a lot of the comic book action figures, animations, books. He may not be to the point where he can read the stories yet, but he likes even flipping through the pages. And especially since I've collected comic books, he likes to see me sit down and go through them because, understandably, being 5, he has a tendency to be a little rough on the pages. So, but even with him, it's, what do I see Daddy doing? Daddy's watching TV. So how can I get engrossed with Daddy? Oh, I think Daddy's watching a little too much TV, a little too engrossed in TV. So let me take the remote and run around the room and make Daddy chase me. Make Daddy accept the fact that, hey, I'm here. Acknowledge me and acknowledge my presence. It's what kids do. Overly engrossed with TV? Let me help you separate from that for a little while. My oldest, sometimes when he notices that I'm not really giving him or matters and concerns that he has the attention that he desires, he'll kind of get physical. He'll run, and I can be in the bed, bam, pushing all up on me, laying on my back. Attention. And we've got to take note of when it's like, okay, all right, you're doing stuff specifically because you want me to pay more attention to you. You're doing stuff specifically because I'm too involved with myself and I've kind of isolated myself from you. I'm not giving you time. I'm not dealing with you. I'm not relating to you. Kids will do stuff out of attention. And this also, perfect little segue to lead to my 7-year-old, my daughter. And the thing is about her, if she notices that, hey, not paying me any attention, huh? Not really worried or concerned about me. So I'm going to see what I can get into until you get worried or concerned about me. So her mind being as creative as it is, and her understanding, hey, I see something that I want. I may not am supposed to have this thing, but guess what? I'm going to go after it. I'm going to go, hey, you're not paying me no attention. Okay. You're doing this little daddy lazy thing. Fine. That just gives me ample opportunity to get into or to grab what I want. So she will stack stuff up, literally, chairs, tables, whatever, because we put stuff out of reach specifically for her. For her. Oh, you're not paying me no attention? I got a cup. I got a sink. I'm having fun with the cup in the sink, playing with the water. So if the water's running for more than 10 seconds, we already know who it is. We already know what she's doing. And the main reason she's doing it is because nobody's around. Or start to hear springs on the bed. She's jumping on the bed. Now, mind you, this child does have a trampoline in her room. But hey, I've got freedom, I've got time, and I've got opportunity because nobody's watching me. Nobody's engaged with, nobody's sitting there and checking up on me to see what I'm doing. And the other thing is about her, she is by far the most independent child of the 3. She will just find something that she's attracted to or wants to do, and she can do it for hours on end. Sometimes you can be like, hey, how you doing? And she's just continues on doing what she's doing. So it's like, hey, I'm trying to get involved, trying to be there with you, try to play, hey, daddy, daughter, mama, okay, not paying me a lick of attention. So again, not forcing it, but finding it. Finding those times and those opportunities, those windows where she's more collaborative. She's more in tune to the fact that, hey, We've got time. We can, yes, I want to play. Let's go play. So that may mean, especially since she's a girl, playing with the little dolls and toys that she has that are in like a house, or playing with the little I call it the tea and crumpet set. I mean, it's got like simulated crackers, cheesecake, tea cups, and saucers, and dishes, and things of that nature. So again, it's dwelling with them where they are in the things that are their interests and they're fascinated with and they relate to, and just where they are. So that's part of their growth and their development. The main thing is they're trying to find out and figure out who they are, the type of people that they're going to be. And so they're bouncing things by learning from you. They're bouncing those things off of themselves. So they're watching you and then they're mirroring you and seeing, okay, does this work for me? Because if it really doesn't work for me, you know what? Can't do things the way that mommy and daddy do, or in this state, and that daddy does them. I see daddy doing this. I see this is happening, and this is how he handles it and deals with stuff, but it's not really my cup of tea. So again, understanding, involvement, engaging, and especially, I can't overemphasize this point enough. Because of the way that things are today, technology is so much a part of life, period. It used to be back in the day, every home had a TV. That was 80s, 90s. And then 2000s, every home had a computer. And now every home has some type of device. And most homes have Wi-Fi. So you're talking technological advancements as to what people find as common in the home. And so Wi-Fi means use of devices and technology. So again, got to monitor what the kids are watching, what they're liking, what they're spending their time doing while they're on a phone, on a tablet, at the computer, because it's so much a part of life on social media. And honestly, that technology, the use of that technology is also a way to connect with your kids. Yes, I said connect with your kids. If your kids like being on social media, find out why they like it, who they like to talk to, what types of issues and things they like to talk about. And you can even discuss that with them before they bring it up on social media. Those can be, like a lot of times you'll find out on Facebook and on Instagram and even on Twitter, somebody will pose a question. And those that are following them will give responses to those questions. And it's just generating talk. It's generating fun. And so you can do the same thing with your children, that as they're looking up and they're watching, or they're talking about and discussing, various matters and issues, you can discuss with them, hey, what about this? Or on the same issue, you talk about that and show your point of view or your discussion, or you can even ask this question to see if it's something that anybody else noticed or that they're into, to find out what other people are thinking, because that's part of the way that social media works, is finding out what people are thinking, what they're talking about, or as they like to say all the time on TV, what's trending. Ooh, media words. So again, it's relating to your kids and understanding what they're about, what they like to do, because the more, and the thing is, don't feel like, well, they're too young to connect with them. Please, if you just talk to them, you'd be surprised. Even at a young age, shoot, you can have a 2-year-old and you can just talk to them and they'll tune into you. You can have a teenager and just talk to them. Now, I know, yeah, sometimes it's hard to relate because it's like, okay, yeah, you're doing stuff differently. Yes, it is a different era. Things are not the way they used to be, especially amidst the pandemic. You can't associate the way that you grew up and say that this is exactly how it has to be for my kid. Please, we played kickball in the street till the street lights came on and everybody went in. We played ball out in the street again till the street lights came on and everybody. We played touch football in the street. We played tackle where we get to the field and get in the grass, but it was touch in the street, two-hand touch because it's too easy to do one. But yeah, but right now my kids are growing up in a neighborhood where, I mean, the block we're on is mostly older adults whose children are grown. Can't do that. Street's not that wide and there's constantly traffic coming through. And unfortunately, not everybody's aware that there are children on the block. Can't do it. Can't. And then even sometimes going to the park and playing with the kids, it's not the same with just, hey, what are y'all doing? You got kids? I got kids. Let's bring the kids together and play. Not everybody's up for that. So again, it's finding out about your kids, knowing your kids, who they are, their likes and their dislikes. And I almost want to say it like this. I'm going to say it like this: subjecting yourself to understanding what they like, which means spending time doing the things they like. And that may mean getting on the, for those that play video games, you understand, getting on the sticks and playing games they like to play. May not be the games that you're normally on, but you're relating to them. So, one of the things, and again, this is just fostering ideas. You know your kids, you know your family, or you're getting to know your kids and your family better. Because even if I can encourage you to do that through this talk, then hey, that's great. That's gravy. So one of the things that we've done, and we've turned into a practice, and we actually, since we've got some of their cousins coming over, we may do it again this weekend, is that we would have basically it would be movie night. So what we would do is we go out and we do shopping, errand running, getting things that we needed, and also things that we wanted for movie night. So we would treat movie night like you were going to the movies. So when we got back and it was time, you would get like Monopoly money, but you would have to buy everything that you wanted to have that night for movie night. So if you wanted popcorn, you pay for your popcorn. You want pizza, you pay for your pizza. You want ice cream, you pay for that. Everything you want, candy, whatever, you pay for it. But you would earn money as you went through the day. So while we're out running errands, doing stuff, if you're the one bickering and fighting, money lost. But if you're getting along and you're helping put the groceries up in the vehicle and helping keep others in line, or while we're shopping, you point out different things, money gained. So when it comes time for movie night, you might have money left over where you can buy extra snacks, for stuff you can take home or keep and have for later, not just while we're watching the movie. So we'll watch 3 or 4 different movies and be able to have that time together. So it's like everybody, yay, and just relax and enjoying themselves. But it's doing several things all at the same time. So we're getting to understand them, getting to help them with their behavior, especially while we're out in public. So it's like, oh, disappointing behavior, money lost. Good behavior, money gain. Then when we get back and it's time to actually start purchasing and buying, so now you get to use your math skills, and you're also evaluating. If you're limited on your money, you're also evaluating, okay, what's most important, or even what's the better deal. Is it most important to get me 2, 3 slices of pizza, or is it more important for me to get the gummy bears? What holds more value? And I'm not saying you have to do that. If you want to incorporate it, go ahead. By all means, use it. If it's going to help you, if it's going to encourage you and the relationship with your kids, please, by all means, use that. Go there. But I also want to implore and encourage you to be creative. Find those different ways that you can connect with your kids. Find those different ways that you can be on the same page. I mean, even if you and your kids, I don't care how old they are, teenage, adolescent, what if you two started your own YouTube or Facebook live stream or page and just start talking about stuff that's important to the two of you, so you're relating and spending time together to talk about and to discuss things. That's great. One of the things, and here's just another example of one of the things that helped shape me within my interaction with my kids, is my father used to have what he called a special day. So there were 5 of us growing up, 4 boys and a girl. And so on certain Saturdays, he would let us know, okay, I need you to get up, get ready. We're going to go. This is your special day. So he would dedicate that day to that one child. And so we would go out. We would do different things. And he might run 1 or 2 errands the whole time because he wanted to make sure that day he was invested in that child. So all day it was just the 2 of us, and we would go out and we do it, fun little activities, different things that he would be like, okay, based on my child's character and who they are and what they like, let's go do this. And let's have this type of activity, this type of engagement. And we'd sit down, and in between, we talk, whether it be over a meal or in between going from one location to the next for what we were going to do, and different things of that nature. The time that you invest in your kids, they take note. They take note. Even, I'll even say this, that even when you fail, sometimes those are the greatest moments for them because you're trying to be there. They know that you're efforting, that you're just not, okay, you know what, you're a kid, I don't get you, I give up. I'm not even going to try. Your trying means a lot to them. Just trying, just showing up means a lot. And even when you try and you fail, and I mean sometimes it's like an epic fail, it still means a lot. Why? Because you tried. You showed up. And that means something. That's impactful, and that's powerful to kids. I'll even share this, and probably we'll get ready to come to the end after that. But one of the other things that I remember, one of my fondest memories of my father, is that there was a time I was the oddball child. I mean, I played sports, yes, but I also played chess. So chess club would go from a stretch near the end of the basketball season to the end of the school year to go to tournaments pretty much every Saturday, different locations all across the state. And there was one time I missed the caravan of parents, and we were headed to Kokomo. So from Anderson to Kokomo was about a 45 minute drive. And since we had missed them, it was like, oh man, we're gonna miss the tournament. And it was myself and a friend who lived right up the street. So the next thing I know, without saying a word, my father just takes off. We're like, okay. And I mean, he is gone. So we just driving. And we're like, okay, where are we going? Then we start looking at the highways, and it's like, oh, is he about to take us all the way to Kokomo? Took me and friend from up the street, took us all the way to Kokomo, spent the entire day with us, checked with me after every match. And the thing is, if you've ever been to a chess tournament, which probably none of you have, unless you were a player, because to watch was hard, to watch was difficult. It was tricky. But to watch, you're there. One match could last 2 hours. So that's why everyone had to start early, so you wouldn't be ending too late. I mean, tournaments would start at 9 o'clock in the morning, so they could end by 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then depending upon where you're coming from, there's travel time. Some tournaments were even set up where it was a 2-day thing. So you would go from Saturday, you may play 4 rounds on Saturday. And if each player's had 2 hours on the clock, so you could have one match that lasted almost 4 hours if you were really going back and forth with your opponent and you were both staying on top of your time. So he spent the whole day with us, ate lunch with us, interacted with the other players, sat in what they called our skittle room, which was our room reserved for each team, so that you could get with your coaches and review your match, see where, okay, this is where you would actually notate and take and write down every move that you made and every move that your opponent made. And your coach would go back over with you. Okay, that was a good move. That's where you messed up. Or that puts you in position to win. And you would discuss things and go over. So he was fully engaged the entire day, gave up his day. And I knew from my father's schedule that was something hard to do, because he worked 5, sometimes 6 days a week, got 5 kids, was a pastor. So people were always pulling on him, always requesting him. And then he was also a person who had a foothold in the community. So he was always doing community work too. So for him to just clear blue give up a day, that was a lot. And made sure that I wasn't going to miss out on the opportunity to be involved in something that I cared for. I always tell him that that's my father's Hall of Fame moment for him, that I reflect upon that. And I know that, yep, I had a dad that cared. And that has also helped me to be a caring father. But the thing is, father's identity, you choose by your actions. And if you want honest conversation, you want to keep it 100, ask those around you what kind of father you are. Not you saying this is the type of father that I am. No, ask those around you. If you're married, ask your wife. Shoot, if your kids are old enough and can really spell stuff out for you, ask your kids. Ask your kids what kind of father you are. The people that are around you that see you the most, whether it be family, friends, neighbors, ask them what kind of father you are. How do they ID you as a father? So again, it's your decision. You choose to be the type of father that you want to be, and you decide and you determine, hey, I'm going forward in this area, in this way, concerning me and my relationship with my kids. I'm going to grow in this thing, or you know what? I'm good with things being the way they are. Your decision. Your decision. Just going to give you tidbits, bits of bits to help encourage relationships, to help you find who you are and how you really identify with your kids, with your family. Because that's, honestly, it's all part of being a father. And I don't know about you, me, I love it. I love it. I really do love it. All right. So That's the first one. Please, if you like what you hear, the content, give me feedback. Let me hear from you. Let me know, hey, yeah, I like that. I like that. I like hearing about that. Going to continue to talk about different things and throw ideas around and out there. As you can see, I'm a bit more animated as I'm talking right now because I want you to feel the energy. I want you to feel that, okay, he's, in all honesty, I'm a teacher by trade. So that's what's easiest for me is to just sit back and offer instruction. But this is more about relating. So it's more about engaging in storytelling. So you're going to see the energy, you're going to see the effort, you're going to see the action of the body, the hands, the hit, all that, all that. Simply to let you know, hey, it's not going to be the same as what it's been in the past. But again, want to definitely hear from you if this was helpful, if this brought anything new to light, if you enjoyed it, just what you're able to take away from it. And really, really, really would appreciate your thoughts and your comments. So, yeah, please, please come on, enjoy, spend time, take part. If you like it, tell others about it. Again, we'll be doing this again in another 2 weeks. So we'll have another one here in February, then we'll have 2 in March, 2 in April, so forth and so on. And be looking to really include others. So let me also tell you now about other projects and activities that got going on right now. In the final stages of preparing to release my first book, my first children's book, I'm Not a Monster, coming soon digitally and also to other outlets. So again, as soon as we get more details and information on it, we'll be putting that information out there on how you can get your copy. And just want to give you a quick rundown of what it is. Again, it is a children's book, but I really think it goes beyond just a child's read. It helps kids deal with not only, I'll say it like this, not only racial issues, racial injustices, but also if a child's dealing with a bully, it'll help them deal with that. If they're being discriminated, it'll help them deal with that. Just help them with social concerns and issues and knowing who they are and how they can overcome. So really encouraging kids to find the strength within themselves. Hope is a powerful thing. And when it's built up in a person, it opens up limitless doors and opportunities. So trying to encourage kids. And I do think it'll also be good for any adult that reads the book too. So putting that out there concerning that. We also, my wife and I, are part of It's Your Time, which is a radio broadcast, which will be coming up actually tomorrow, 2 p.m. So you see the information there on the screen. So please, please, please tune in 2 p.m. for It's Your Time, Pushing Forward, and just talking about getting your rest naturally and spiritually. So really enjoyed that. So get that opportunity, take advantage of it. We will be having another session of Wisdom for the Wilderness coming up this Monday at 7 p.m. Again, that's Wisdom for the Wilderness this Monday at 7 p.m. So that's the 15th. So look forward to talking and expanding on the topic that we've been currently dealing with. Your future is in your knowing. So we'll be finalizing, going through the last portion of that coming up here on Monday. So really, really charged about that. And what we're going to be bringing to light there. But just, yeah, looking forward to what we're going to get here out of Father's Talk. And again, it's going to be a lot loose, more loose. You'll see some interviews coming here after a while, just to kind of get things going, get things started and initiated. And then we'll be moving forward and expanding and enlarging our scope. But again, we're going to deal with just things concern men, and just offer help and assistance in any way, shape, or form. So again, please give and share your comments with me. Let me know, even if there's additional topics that you want to get into, different things you want to have brought up, because looking forward to covering all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. So also, oh, I'm sorry, almost forgot. We will have another session of Day of the Sons coming up later on this month. So looking forward to sharing that with you as well. And again, dads, be encouraged. Be encouraged, because even if you haven't been the perfect dad, none of us are. We're all learning. We're all trying to improve. Work with what you got. Be the best of who you are with who you can be, and go from there. You're doing great things. So just continue to work on being great. All right. Love you guys. See you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Looking forward. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks with our next Father's Talk. Late.